Welcome to the MVP podcast, where we talk about anything NBA. I'm Sam Holcroft, alongside Geigh and Payton Thompson. Before we begin, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Momentum MVP, follow our Facebook page at MVP Momentum Podcast, and check us out on YouTube at MVP Momentum Podcast. So we're going to do another tier list here. We did one last year with the City Edition jerseys, and we're going to do one again for this year. So we have our main tiers, S, A, B, C, D, and of course the F, if there is any that are that bad. So this isn't going to be in any particular order, but we'll go ahead and just go one by one and talk about where each one goes. So starting off with the Philadelphia 76ers, City of Brotherly Love. How do we feel about this one?
D?
Yeah, it's fine. I don't think I have anything critical to say about it. I don't really like how the zero looks like a track, but
I think it's too similar than last year. That's all it is.
Yeah, but I think last year we put it as a B or something. But
you can't do it again, you know?
Yeah, that is true. So you said D?
Yeah, a lot of these are going to be bad, but
yeah, this year they are not that good. Last year there was some that went kind of crazy, and they went very subtle this year. So the Blazers one.
Wait, hold on. You didn't give your grade, and I didn't give my grade either.
Yeah, what's grade?
I thought we agreed with a D.
I thought C was fine, but D is also fine.
Yeah, it didn't really do too much for me, so I think probably a D for that one.
Okay.
The Blazers one, I don't really mind all too much. I think it's probably a B or C for me.
I'd say a C.
Yeah, I would say a B minus.
Yeah,
I think that checker saves it.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I kind of considered the fact of putting it into a B, but I think we can probably go with C here, just because there's not really much other design other than maybe kind of like something down the side, but even then, can't really tell too much.
I mean, I'd wear it C, yeah, but yeah.
All right, next one, Milwaukee. It resembles the one from last year, but I think it's even better than the one they had last year, in my opinion.
D. It looks like the Dallas Mavericks.
It does, weirdly enough.
That one
like
alternate that they used?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
I'd give it a B.
Yeah, I'm thinking kind of a B as well.
So then what are we doing? C? C plus? C?
A high C,
You really think it's a D?
I think so. They're not really impressive. Just seems like, what's the inspiration for this one, you know?
We just have to think comparatively to the other ones. I don't think there's going to be, if we put everything at C and D, then there's going to be, 0 S tier. I mean, maybe that's how it should be. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. This is definitely a lot better than the Portland one. So that's why I would say it's a B.
I like the white background with the blue kind of fading into it. I like that. I don't really like the green on it, but I think if it was a darker green, it would be a little bit better. But
yeah, and that's also a cream color too. So I kind of like that, the cream with that blue.
We can just see. It's passable. It doesn't. I mean, it's
we can go high C. It's one of the higher C's probably.
Yeah. All right. So next one is Chicago Bulls.
That's an F for me, dog.
Yeah.
There's nothing there, man. There's nothing there.
The only thing that's telling me this is a City Edition jersey is the fact that it says Chicago.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's just so bland.
Yeah. And I mean, we're probably going to say that for quite a few. They just didn't really do anything. Like last year's, theirs was a little kind of crazy with the all white and that kind of cool looking design, but they went the exact opposite this year and just made it bland, which maybe people will just end up buying. But yeah, so can we agree F? All right.
Sure.
Cleveland's.
D.
That's an A- for me.
No,
I was gonna say
I
that's
like
like a
that.
BA because
it's way too similar to last year's. I'm saying like it just feels like. I mean, last year's was much better. This one feels like I don't know. They're like kind of.
I was gonna say, let me look at Cleveland's last year jerseys.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna pull up.
I think they said something about the land. I don't remember.
So the colors are different. It doesn't have the collar the same. The collar's different. The font's different. I don't know how similar it really is. It's pretty different, honestly. I guess the only thing similar is it says the land.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's really about it.
I like the font. I like the collar and the arm pattern. Obviously the color is just it is what it is. I like how the numbers are placed. I mean, I don't know if a lot of other jerseys are gonna have as much different their jersey, honestly.
Okay, I guess I can move up to a B. But I haven't seen any of these jerseys, so I'm like, that's why I'm being like real like careful about it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. Okay. I can agree with the B. All right. So the next one is Boston. So I said this last year, and I'm kind of the same thing again. I'm not a huge fan of white, like mostly white jerseys, but you got the hardwood floor design going down the side. You have a shadow font with that same hardwood color with the green. I think Boston's is always a safe city edition jersey in my opinion. So I could see this being a B.
I could see it being a B. I think the hardwood catches my eye. Without the hardwood, I don't know if I like it too much.
Yeah, I think I could be swung one way or the other. I was gonna give it a C. But I mean, I could be convinced of a B just because of the font. I like the font on it as well.
Yeah,
Of the
there's
numbers.
not many that kind of have a really kind of catching font, and like
Mm-hmm.
the fact that they're kind of like doing like a shadow, I kind of like that. I also think it's kind of funny on how a lot of these pictures, the players that they choose to use.
Yeah.
Like this is Al Horford. We had Donovan Mitchell for the last one. It's kind of funny on how some of these are chosen, but it is what it is. The Clippers.
A D.
I was gonna say a D or an F. I don't like it. I mean, all navy. Like I mean, the Clippers historically haven't really had that good of city editions. Like the thing that kind of bothers me is like, so they have that white that says Clips. They have a basketball in there, which is kind of just out of the ordinary. But then this number is like a gray color. I'm
Is
not
it?
a huge. I think it's a different color than what the
Mm.
Clips says.
I'd give it a C minus. I do like the basketball for the eye. And I don't mind the font, but yeah, the difference of color definitely throws it off. And yeah, I don't really like the main color of the jersey either.
Yeah, so
I think D
probably
would be fair.
yeah D. Now this one was probably Gage's and my favorite last year, but doesn't really look that good this year. The Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh, that's hurt my eyes.
Yeah, it sucks because like they're trying to go with like a similar kind of thing. Because last year I think we put the Memphis Grizzlies as either an S or an A. But this year,
It's
like
MEM.
yep, for Memphis. And then I like the gold numbers, but that's really the
Yeah.
only thing I like about it.
Yeah.
I'll take a. I honestly think it should be a C. I think it's okay. Very. I mean, it's minimal, but it's interesting. Like we can all tell what
I
it's going for.
I would give it a D, mainly for originality. I mean, they went out there with the lettering. I don't think it looks good, but I think at least it's original, and I
Mhm.
do like the gold. It would be like a D plus for me.
Yeah, I'd give it a C. I think it's interesting. I wish they had
Yeah,
something on the sides, but
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a D as well, just because like they could have done something different. Like it is an original idea, but like it's like they wanted to take the good parts of what they had last year and like try to spice it up a little, but they did a little too much in my opinion. Another one we liked last year was Atlanta's. Um, this one I don't like it as much as last year's personally.
Yeah. Uh, they really like that font.
Me too. That's really the only thing I really like about the jersey is the font. Um, the color's throwing me off. Um, yeah.
Yeah, if the
I
color was different.
Yeah, if it was like a cooler red, like not cool as in like warm or cold, but as if it was like, a really bold red, or like lava red, it could have been cooler. But honestly, you guys could convince me either way on this one. I don't really know how to feel about it.
I think I kind of like it at like a C category.
Yeah.
C's fair, yeah.
That's the font you normally see on like signs here in Atlanta. You see
Mm,
that on a lot of street. They did that last year too, and I was like, that font sticks out to you. Why? Because that's literally the font they use like in like midtown, downtown, on like their city streets. It's that font.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Similar to like what Brooklyn does, but I mean, I don't know. Brooklyn, maybe I'm not a Brooklyn native, but I feel like Brooklyn always kind of likes to just have that chalk drawing like a subway, but they lean too far into it. But that's a different
Yeah,
jersey
they go
already.
a little bit far, yeah.
Next one, the Miami Heat with the Heat culture. Um,
This 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 reminds me of something. It reminds me of a G League jersey, like you like, or like a high school that has to
Yeah.
use. I think tuck on the bottom, or it's like it definitely is like kind of a G League jersey. Like we're not the Miami Heat, we're the Miami Heat culture, which is like a sub team of the Miami Heat or something like that. Or they just can't use the Miami Heat team name is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say.
yeah,
Yeah, I honestly think if they would have just had the heat part of it and then a little have it be bigger, I would have probably given this a B, but I don't like the contrast, so I'm gonna give it a C.
I really wish they would have leaned into the Heat logo because that's an old school Heat.
Mm,
That's like
hmm.
Dwayne Wade, Shaq
Yeah.
kind of Heat font right there.
Hmm.
But then they just added culture.
yeah.
Yeah.
And with my thing is like this would be probably an A tier if we were just looking at it as an alternate jersey. But the fact that it's a city edition, like I don't know. I think C is probably a good place to put
Yeah.
it.
And I think it's a C because it was a good job bringing back that old font. I'm really
Hmm.
getting Dwayne Wade, Shaq, kind of like those vibes
Right.
with like NBA Street kind of vibes. You
Right.
know?
That's why I wish it was just like the main focus of the jersey, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss Dwayne.
Yep. Let's see if I can pull this up a little bit. Here we go. So we got the Hornets, Buzz City, and they're kind of like teal color. I don't mind it, but
I don't mind it either, but it's again another C. I think. Like I don't mind it. They did a good job. I like the little spikes. Um, it's kind of interesting that they're still rocking the MJ logo, but I don't know.
I think what the Hornets need to do with their jerseys a little bit more, and I might be mistaken because they might already do this, but I would have liked to see it in the City Edition, is if they would have emphasized the Hornet, because I do like that logo. So it's just a little bit on the simplistic side for me, but I think a C minus D plus is fine.
yeah, I think a C kind of fits here. because like it's not too like
It's not bad.
bland, but like with the color scheme, like if you want to keep going with the same color that you have for your normal jerseys, that's fine. But yeah, like you guys were saying, like they could have just done a little bit more. But yeah, I just don't see them going up with Cleveland or Boston at the B category.
Yeah.
All right, Utah.
Think,
You know,
yeah.
I like purple. So and it's got the mountains. So I think this would be my vote for probably our first A.
I was gonna give it a B.
Yeah, me too. I like everything
B.
about it. I like the throwback kind of, vibe of it and everything. Um, it just, it's gonna take some real originality to be in an A tier, and it's not the most original design. It's more of a throwback design. But I do like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need something that really catches my eye. Maybe we don't have any A's, then that's okay, you know?
Yeah, I
It
mean
just
that's kind of just the jersey trend this year.
Yeah. So yeah, we could put them in B. I'm okay with that. San Antonio. They're not going with that random teal like they did last year. Kind of going a little bit more subtle, a white jersey with some brown words that say San Antonio, and then looks like some orange for some outlining and the numbers. So I think it's all right. I think it could be like a C or a D.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys can disagree with me, but I think this jersey is super ugly. I would give it an F. Like I get it. It's supposed to be, like kind of like San Antonio kind of vibes, as far as the font goes, but I don't like it. I don't really like the colors. It's very bland. It's white. It's simplistic. I just don't really like anything about it, to be honest.
I think so too, like an F. Like it's like a jersey that had all the right building blocks, but just didn't put it together. Like like don't get me wrong, if you would have pulled off like a nice style with the San Antonio, make it a little bit sleeker, that would have been smooth. Make me push in. Are you gonna push into the desert or not? Or like it's like you're in between the Wild West with that font, and then you have like this 10, which reminds you of
Hmm.
like kind of like a
A modern kind of feel.
stop sign, like not a stop sign, but like a traffic sign, kind of like
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I get. Like just do a little bit more. The logo is a little bit more like, well, San Antonio written is kind of cartoonish Wild West kind of vibes I'm getting, and it's
Yeah.
just like, okay, are you cartoonish Wild West and do it?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, we could put San Antonio in an F. I'm cool with that. New York. This looks like an alternate. Like
It looks
there's
like a
more than the
misprint.
test. Yeah.
I honestly really like it. Uh, I like of how, there's two different, I guess I don't know what you would call it. Different New
It's like a
Yorks.
shadow.
Yeah, sort of a shadow. Yeah, I think it looks a little bit cooler than a regular shadow, like a regular outline though. And it reminds me of the 2012-2013 Knicks with Melo and Amari, as far as like the color scheme goes, and I like the number font. And the New York City the logo at the top. I don't know of how many other teams put that kind of like personalized logo. I think most teams just put like their
They put something kind of like
Nike
down
or
here.
Jordan. Yeah. So I like it a lot. I would give it an A tier, but I think, obviously, I don't think you guys are gonna think the same way, so I think it's gonna go down a couple, but I like it a lot.
I would put it at a B. I just wish they would have been not so minimal with it. Like
Hmm.
the pinstripe is cool. The double New York is nice, and that's really the big plus for me. But that's about it.
Yeah, I really do want to put it in an A, but one, it's not like super original. I mean, it has some like original kind of ideas, but like it was basically a copy and paste from the jersey from that 2012 to 13, but then just kind of like just moving things around a little bit.
Yeah.
So like maybe if it was like maybe if it was like inverted colors, like this was orange and then the number was blue and stuff like that, then I'd probably be more down for it. But since it's kind of like it's whenever we're playing as the Knicks, if you ever play as the Knicks in 2K, this is the jersey, or the 2012 to 13 is the jersey that you go and pick when you're playing someone. So yeah, so I think B is close, but I think that was really close to being an A for me as well. The next one, Geigh, do not tell me that this is S tier. Do not.
It's probably like a C or a D, just because like. So there's like either they're trying to replicate the Hollywood sign with Los Angeles, but they're also like keeping up the old school like banners as well. Like that's kind of how like the lettering is for the old school championship banners too. So it's just confusing to what they're going with, and then that's just kind of all they decided to do, and that's it. I do like Los Angeles being spelled out, but I'm not really seeing anything interesting about that. Like,
yeah, I agree. It makes it a little bit nauseating to look at it. I think it was a good idea on paper, but it just didn't really. The execution wasn't really there. And it's not anything too spectacular. It's pretty simplistic, but I don't think it's a bad jersey. I'd probably give it a C.
Yeah, I'm cool with putting it in the C category. It's just it kind of has like a lot going on. Like it looks like I don't know what they were trying to imply, but it looks like an arrow pointing up.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're telling everyone what their expectations are for this season or what, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's hard to get anything lower than a C with the Lakers colors, unless if you have a white jersey like last year. All right, next we got Orlando Magic with like a navy, a very light, kind of like gray pinstripe design. I kind of like the star in the middle. I like the I think I don't know if that's Universal or like the Disney kind of like font that says Orlando, but this isn't too bad.
I give it a B. I think it's well put together. It's just not catching my eye. It's well put together. I'll say that. Like there's nothing like they're committing to a design all the way through, not like San Antonio or anything like that. They're just committing to it. And it's like that gray kind of, those letters are kind of spiked, the numbers a little spiked, and they're just committing to a design. It's just not my type of design.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think B is pretty fair. I think I do like the star, but I think the biggest thing I like about it is the color scheme. I think it's simplistic, but I think it looks clean, looks good. They didn't, like you said, Geigh, they didn't really try to do anything special with it, but they had, a vision of what they were going for, and they committed. So yeah, I think it deserves a B.
All right, the next one, the Dallas Mavericks.
It's probably D or an F. Just doesn't really do anything. I think some people may like the little cursive ends on the M and the S, but me personally, I don't really think it looks that good. And it's just kind of like their regular color scheme. I mean, it is black, but it doesn't spell out Mavericks. It's just kind of a standard regular jersey with Mavs on the front. That's how I feel.
Geigh?
I don't know. I don't really know what like the motivation is. Like, is there something about Dallas I don't understand with like the curls? I'm thinking like, I don't know what I think about when I see this. Like, I think of like those curls. I don't know. Is there something about Dallas that I'm not understanding? Maybe it's a Dallas. Maybe it's a Dallas thing.
Yeah, well, they've also haven't had good City Edition jerseys for the last few years, so maybe that's just a Dallas thing.
I don't know. Maybe it's Mark Cuban thinking that we're all We're all vibing to this.
Yeah. All right, guys. Now the next one is the yearly 7-year-old drawing for the Brooklyn Nets City Edition.
I hate when they do this. Well, they're getting better, but like, I don't know. Like, I get that they're trying to capture the idea of like Bed-Stuy kind of like, but like this, like, I don't know, what is it, the 80s or 70s kind of like, but like
The graffiti era.
yeah, like there ain't no such thing as hard, like halfway crooks kind of vibe, you know? That's or yeah, but
Yeah.
and
It's-
even then, actually, even then, I think that's more of like New York Knicks style, kind of like, if there's any team that was kind of like that back then, it was probably the Knicks. I think the Nets, honestly, well, the Nets are from New Jersey, so they're just pushing into Brooklyn so hard, but they're like reaching in before their history, you know? So, I don't know.
What do you mean? We've been here all along.
Basically, they're trying to steal that, but that's not really Brooklyn anymore.
That's not who they are.
They should just start going with what's Brooklyn is still cool, you know? Like, you don't have to reach back before you were in Brooklyn to get something interesting. You can just put the Brooklyn Bridge or something, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm somewhere between I think a B where it's really original and really cool and I like the different colors, and then D where I think it looks really goofy and the colors don't really match at all, and it just kind of looks like they threw something on a jersey. So I'll give it a C, I suppose.
Yeah, I think C's a fine space to put that one.
Yeah, C is fine. It's just, though, it's like, it's not their
Actually,
history, you know?
You know what? No, I think D. I don't like how the
D?
letters are all misplaced like that. I think it looks super goofy.
It's supposed to look rebellious.
No, yeah,
It's
I know what they're going for. I just think for an NBA jersey, it just looks so goofy.
Okay. Okay, so we can move it to a D then. I'm cool with that.
Alright, we can spend the next 5 minutes just roasting the Nets jersey.
We could just pull up every City Edition that they've came out with and just like be
Yeah.
like, dang, we could do a two-tier list on Brooklyn Nets City Edition jerseys, and it's like okay or just like horrible. Like those are the
Yeah.
two tiers. Like that's what we can do.
Fail.
Yeah. Or it wouldn't even be passable. It'd be barely passable.
Yeah.
Next, the Denver Nuggets. I kind of like the 52-80 in the slight mountains. I just don't like that with like a black background and then their number right there too. But I guess every City Edition has the number on the front, so you got to put it somewhere. I don't know.
I think it's a B. It's interesting. They caught my eye. It caught me by surprise. But then I think it works because I'm thinking about this as like in your jersey collection. Like, how often are you going to get a jersey that kind of looks like this? Like, you're going to get a Denver Nuggets jersey like that has 5-2-80. I don't think they've never really done this. So that's why I give it a B, because it's super original. But is it like the coolest thing ever? No. But it's something it'd be very interesting to have. But I'd maybe put it at a C. C or B.
Yeah, I'm there too. I think it's a C plus. Sam, like you said, I wish the colors would have been some kind of different scheme, especially with how many colors Denver can utilize. And for me, like you said, Gage, it is original, and you got to give it props for that. But for me, it's just a little bit too many numbers to just look at on the front of the jersey, so it's gonna knock it down. I think if the 52-80 would have been, like maybe I don't know, maybe smaller somewhere else, or more of a touch than the emphasis, I think it would have been a B for me, but I'm gonna give it a C.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with the C too. I would have agreed with you, Gage. Like B would have been a good place for it, but I just don't like the Blue Mountains with like that black background. If they
Mm.
would have changed the color of the jersey, like if that was a maybe like that maroon color that they kind of utilize, like what they have on the collar there, then I think that probably would have been a B for me.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah,
Hmm.
Maybe
just
if they maybe if they stacked the number and also had Denver Nuggets on top or something interesting, that'd have been really cool.
Yeah.
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 I don't know.
Next, the Indiana Pacers.
Is this a this has to be a race car reference, right? No?
I don't think necessarily.
That paint on the side looks reminds me of like dirt or something like that. Like the dirt you get on the side of your car.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. I don't know. I mean, it's fine.
Kind of
See?
some unique colors.
Yeah, I like the colors. It does have that kind of, I don't know, kind of like goofy look, but it's a little bit more appropriate. Um, I don't know. You could sway me either way. I'd probably put it at a C right now, though.
See?
Yeah, there's not really anything I could say to try to swing someone to a B. You know, the I do kind of like the splatters on the side. Kind
Hmm.
of like the I think this is supposed to be kind of like, you know, like when you have a car that and you use it quite a bit, like with like racing, and you use it like every week, and you get some door dings and stuff like that. The paint probably just comes off, and instead of just getting a new paint, you just get some spray paint. So like, it looks like
Hmm.
they would just like spray painted the numbers, like kind of like on the jersey.
That's
So
what I
I think
think they did.
I think that's a race car reference, but I
They
don't
made
think
the
that's enough to sway me to a B.
yeah, the colors too. I don't know. Maybe the colors are maybe I'm not seeing something.
Yeah,
Like maybe I wish they would have. Here's the thing. Imagine this. Imagine that they stick. Imagine that they change the white and the blue, and then just say, okay, let's stick to white and yellow and or white and black, or yellow. Just stick to yellow. I think that would be much better. Like they had a yellow Indy, and then the back would have been maybe white or something like that instead of blue. I feel like the blue just comes out of nowhere. If they stuck to just yellow and black, I think they have a better jersey.
right.
But there might be
Hmm.
something I don't understand.
So yeah, we can put them at C. Next is New Orleans. It's got that typical New Orleans font. The green kind of comes out of nowhere for me. But I mean, a lot of these kind of have some out of nowhere colors, but
I think
I'm
they're
not a
yeah.
fan.
I think they're kind of referencing the how New Orleans is kind of known as the most haunted like city in America. They just have tons of like abandoned like houses and stuff like that, and so they're trying to be a little bit spooky with the green. I feel like they could have been a little bit more spooky. They're being very spectral here, very ghost like gassed, like ghastly with the green. I mean, I wish what would be cool if they had some sort of voodoo jersey. Now they kind of like knocking at the door here, but if you went all in and just said, "All right, New Orleans, let's get voodoo, like some sort of weird voodoo jersey, but like not really voodoo, just enough so that we can kind of get that vibe," then it's kind of interesting. But I don't know. What do I know?
Yeah, I'd agree. I'm not really a huge fan of the 15 font, but I think everything else about it I like. It just isn't anything crazy. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, I think it could be a B or a C.
I think I see.
Yeah, I'm okay with a C as well. It's just I don't like you can barely tell the like the outline of the Nola just because if the inside of the Nola was like a white or even that green, like that would have been cool, but like it's just too much black and then just very thin outlining.
I wish they would use more laser somewhere else. I like the laser. I like the NOLA laser. It's just a laser print, and I'm cool with it. I wish they
Mhm.
maybe use a little bit more laser somewhere else too.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll put them at C. Next, Detroit Pistons. You know what? It's pretty bland with the black, gray, and white. It does have a little bit of red. But I like the font. It gives off a very kind of like Detroit, like kind of like vibe. I think that this one could be a B in my opinion.
I think it's a B. I think it's good, well placed. I think it's fine. It's Detroit. I mean, the font really saves everything. I've not seen a font like that before. It's really cool. The side is trying to push me away from giving it to a B because like I can't really tell what the side of the jersey is supposed to do.
Yeah, I'll try to zoom in.
It's like a cross.
It looks like a skull and crossbones.
Yeah. It's the Detroit kind of like old school, like Bad Boys logo kind of thing. So you got a Detroit Bad Boys logo, and you have the Detroit kind of symbol there. I wish they would have just kept that sort of font on the sides and had like very sharp slashes cut across the side of the jersey and just stay with how it's angled. I wish they would have angled the whole jersey except the two, but like angle the font that way and then angle the side of the jersey that way too. Like have like cuts of white like triangles or like slashes or something. If you know what I'm trying to say. Like white marks. That'd be really cool. Then it'd be all over the place. Rather than try to lean onto the Detroit Bad Boys, but for what?
Yeah, I mean, we can go B. I think it's a C. I mean, I do like the font of the white. You know, I don't know. It just doesn't do much for me.
Yeah, I think I mean, like I said, I kind of like the B here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wish that they would have just used a little bit more colors. But
I wish they would have used some white on the sides. Right then, that'd have been sick. Then I would have given it the first A if they used white on the sides.
Yeah. So let's see. So that one is a B. Next one is Toronto.
This one's interesting.
What kind of color is that exactly? Because that's what the gray depends on for me. It looks a little bit too pacer yellow.
I think it's OW. I think it's OVO. I think
it's a little bit darker.
Yeah, I think it's OVO kind of color. I think they like OVO
Okay,
over there.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. It's probably a C because they don't really do anything else with the jersey. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you put red on this and it's a regular Toronto Raptors jersey. So I mean, I like I guess the razors down the middle. That's cool. But otherwise, it's pretty standard.
I'm giving it a B plus. I like the razors, and I like that they made the pinstripes also razors. That's what I like about it.
What's on the side there?
Huh?
The side looks
can't
like
tell.
it's lettering or something.
Yeah, we got to see what that says. I think it's just
completely honest. I think it's just scribbles.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just more razors. That seems cool. I like the pinstripe razors. I think that's really cool. Cool idea. Plus the pinstripe. We'll plus the razor towards the edge.
Yeah, actually, I'll bump it up to a B.
Maybe an A. I don't know.
I didn't notice that the pinstripes are also razored. So yeah, I'll give it a B. But it's still pretty. I mean, they didn't do anything different with the font. Is my biggest thing.
Yeah.
If they could have done some cool thing with the font, I would have given it an A probably.
I'm on it. Yeah, I could maybe give it an A, but yeah, the font will maybe gets me. If they had something interesting with the font, it's an S.
Yeah. The only thing that kind of bothers me is this is exactly the same font from last year, and they used kind of the same colors, black and that kind of like goldish kind of color. But what did you both say? Probably B.
B.
I said A. I say B. Regular. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm cool with a B there. I like that color.
This is a good jersey though.
Yeah.
Next, we're talking about your team, PT.
Yeah.
Houston. So give us the rundown. Tell us why it's an S.
Uh, I would say, my first reactions to the jersey. I've seen this jersey before. I saw it a couple weeks ago when it got leaked. I do like the H-Town. We don't do that very often or at all, so I like that. Um, and I'm okay with the number font. I'm not crazy about it, but it's okay. Um, don't really like the white background though. I think if it was black, it would have been better. They didn't really do anything extra other than those two things either. What does it say at the bottom there? Is that Akeem Okay, so that's Akeem and Clyde Drexler's signature. I didn't notice that.
Yep.
So actually, I was gonna give it a C, but for that, I'll give it a B because I think that's a really cool touch.
Yeah, I was gonna say B too, just because the touch on those signatures. I do feel like it's a little. I don't know. It is a little. There's a lot of open space right there for no reason. Like there's a lot of open space below the 28 that just kind of bothers me. But other than that, yeah, it can be a B. Those signatures are good.
So personally, I kind of what I would have liked to see, what could have made this an A in my opinion. One, like you said, Peyton, probably not a white jersey. I just checked last year there was 8 white jerseys for City Edition jerseys, which is insane. That's almost a third. This year there's only 3. Boston, which if you can even call that white, that was kind of like a creamish color. San Antonio and Houston. What I would have liked is I like the H-Town. I like the numbers. I like this part. But like you said, Geigh, too much space right here. I would have liked to move that down, and then maybe even have like a rocket kind of like underline.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been smooth.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah.
So they would have done that.
You had an old school rocket, like a Johnny Rocket, or like,
Or like the old Rockets logo that we used to have. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think the flame would like wrap around, kind of like this or whatever, or maybe like probably wrap around the back.
just fully throw yourself into that kind of era. Just
Right.
kind of like
Because it makes sense with the signatures,
Yeah. Here's the thing: if you had the right color in the background and you had the right color template and you had that rocket, we could even be discussing S or A tier. Like not.
It would be S easily, or you could even
S, yeah.
you could even add some sort of like kind of underlining underneath H-Town and make it seem like it's like a rocket itself. You could have done a little bit more. It was right there, but you decided nope.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. They didn't go deep enough. It's a great base concept. They just didn't push the seal.
Yeah.
Next, Sacramento Kings.
I'm gonna be honest.
It's a throwback.
I like it. I like it. I like the color contrast. I wish that the red wasn't that red. I don't know what it would be. It would maybe have to be a black like the side is, or maybe not even be there. But I like the number. I don't really have too many complaints. I do feel like the K is a little bit close to the Nike sign, but if they would have pushed that down a little bit, that would have probably made it, a little bit up there. But I think B is a good standing for them.
I think B is good too. It's a nicely done like throwback.
I do like that they have all their old logos at the bottom too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone that I think they've ever used.
Yeah.
So, nice little touch. Next, we got the Suns rocking another purple one, which I like this one a lot better than their blue that they did last year. Not entirely sure how I feel about the side right there, but it kind of has like a nice kind of like desert sunset kind of vibe right here. So with El Val, or how would you say that in Spanish, Geigh?
Valet, I think.
Valet, yeah. So like the valley. So, I mean, I like a purple jersey, so I can be swayed.
I think it's a B because I like the side personally. I think that's what it's going to depend on. I think whether you like the side or not is really going to be what does it. I do like how it's like right at the end there, it's cut off. And so, when they're running down the court, it's kind of gonna give that flame look to it a little bit. But I like it personally. I like how it kind of goes into a darker, into a lighter flame. Um, so yeah, I like it.
I like it too. I think I'm thinking high B.
Hmm.
Yeah. So then we can roll with B there.
Yeah.
We got 4 more left. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder. Kind of like a black jersey with some yellow, red, or I guess it's more of yellow and orange. And then they kind of have like bits and pieces of their Thunder logo kind of like hidden in the back here.
This one's cool.
Yeah, I like this one.
Maybe an A.
I was gonna say it might be an A.
I think that we can. I mean, it took us 26, but I think we can finally say that we found our first A.
I think this might be the Thunder's best jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how it is weird though. It's like a weird illusion that the OKC's giving
Mhm.
you. Cuz like
Yeah.
it's kind of, is it in the dark or what, like it's it's blowing my mind a little bit because it's like shrinking into the actual jersey itself. Like the jersey almost looks 3D and you put OKC
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. It's like you can almost touch the letters and number. You know what I mean? And
Like what?
they have the throwback stuff in the back, and the colors are great. I like the orange. I like the yellow. The sides are great. I like how it kind of all matches the same as far as the red and yellow being together. I think this is one of the best jerseys the Thunder have ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we can put this in A.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Another A right here. The Warriors.
Maybe. It depends. What is that? Elephant print or what's in there? Like if you look closely on that's not normal black. That's interesting. Whatever's going on there.
Yeah,
I will say
that print in the
yeah.
back.
It looks like it's supposed to be like a weave design.
Yeah.
It's like a wave. So they did their lettering way better than Los Angeles. So
True,
that's already
true.
better than that.
I'd give it a B. I don't really have too much to complain about it. I just feel like, just like the Rockets jersey and some other Bs that we've said, you could have just had a little bit more to kind of put it shit to that A. I think if you would have had a logo like the Brooklyn Bridge logo that they have, or not Brooklyn, but the Golden Gate Bridge, if they would have done a little bit more with the core design, I think it would bump it to an A. But as far as the actual like core concept, I like it. I don't have any complaints about it.
I like that I like the side. I like the San Francisco. I do think the side might be kind of their bridge, but like, I don't know. That's kind of me like
It
trying to
could
help
be.
them
It's
out.
just it's just kind of tough to what do you say? I don't know. Just kind of see that at first glance, I suppose, for lack of better phrase.
It is cool though. I'm borderline B plus. Like it's up there for sure.
Yeah, it's one of the better
The-
Bs for sure.
The only reason I'm not trying to push for this for an A is because I used this exact same color scheme last year with that like rose that they had at the bottom. If they would have done something totally different last year with a different color scheme and still it did this year, I'd probably be pressing for an A because I like that weave design. I like the font of San Francisco, but it's the exact same color scheme that they used last year. Down to the final two, we got the Washington Wizards, the District of Columbia. A lot of colors going on here with a black background. I think this one's neat. But
yeah, I would give it a C. I think the font is very unique. I like it. And I like the kind of design they're going with the collar and the sleeves. But I don't think the red is quite the right kind of color. And I don't really like how the main color design of the jersey is. The black and gray. I'm not really a big fan of the red slash, and not really feeling that.
Yeah. Is that, what's the red slash for?
I don't know.
I think it's just for design.
Yeah.
it might be. I don't know what that is. It could just be design. I was thinking that it was like that kind of border, but I'm not gonna give him that much credit. I think it might be the border.
See, the question is with that is that if people were just to look at the jersey, would they know that? I think that's the way to think whether they did a good job, showing it off.
Hmm.
That's just what I think about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we thinking C?
I vote for C.
ICC.
Yeah, I'm okay with the C. And then the last one, the Minnesota
Oh.
Timberwolves.
Interesting.
Kind of has like a
I
like
like the design and color. Yeah, it's I don't know exactly what it's supposed to be.
I think it's
It's
supposed
a
to
lake.
be. Yeah, it's supposed to be
The
a frozen lake. So you have
Land of the yeah.
the water
Okay.
here, the snow on top, and then like the ice that's like freezing slowly. So, and then on the side
Then
it
it
says
says
"Land of
it.
10,000 Lakes." You know what? At first, I wasn't really liking this, but then the more that I kind of thought about it, like it's like the chunk of a lake. I think we can maybe put this in A tier.
I don't know if I could go that far, but it's definitely a high B for me. I think if they would have went a little bit more unique with the font, I could have gone with it. I do like it a lot. It just to be an A tier, you gotta blow the rest of the jerseys out of the water, I feel like, and I just don't know if it
Yeah.
quite does that. But it is a
I'll
B.
put it.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, B.
All right, cool with that. So let me move this one over. All right, now I'll bring this back over here so we can look at this. All right, so then this is our tiered right here. So no S tiers at all. So we have our highest being the Oklahoma City Thunder at an A, the only A. The B tiers is the Cavaliers, Celtics, Jazz, Knicks, Magic, Pistons, Raptors, Rockets, Kings, Suns, Warriors, and the Timberwolves. The C category is the Blazers, Bucks, Hawks, Heat, Hornets, Lakers, Nuggets, Pacers, Pelicans, and Wizards. The D category is 76ers, Clippers, Grizzlies, Mavericks, Nets. And the F is the Bulls and the Spurs. So, yeah. Is there any last kind of like additions or changes you guys think that we should do while looking at this? I think we're pretty spot on.
Yeah. I don't think
I
we
think
need to
we're
make
good.
any. Yeah, I don't think we need to make any changes. I will say I think seeing that Wolves jersey convinced me that it's time to get an Edwards jersey.
Yeah, especially in that one.
I mean, I like him. He's one of my favorite players. I don't really like the Timberwolves designs usually, but that one's pretty cool.
Yeah, the one they had last year, I wasn't a huge fan of. Another one of those white jerseys, but
Hmm
Why doesn't and maybe I'm wrong, does Minnesota ever actually use like a Timberwolf on their jersey design?
I think they have. I don't think it's part of their regular designs, but they have before. I just
just
don't
feel
really
like
like the green tint they like to use. I'm not a big fan of that.
yeah. I
yeah,
wish they would just like have a big like some sort of like wolf, like I don't know, some sort of wolf thing. Or I
Hmm
feel like they'd just be wolf, but they decide let's be Land of the Lakes this year instead of like a timber wolf.
which was a good move.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, but all right, sweet. So that wraps up our City Edition tier list. We won't have to do one of these next year because starting with this year and next year, they are starting to do a 2-year cycle. So they're not going to have a new one every single year. So these are the City Edition tier lists that we're going to have for this year and then also next season as well. So we'll have to get used to these jerseys, whether we like them or not, no matter how bland they are, like the Bulls, or even if they look great, like the Thunder or Celtics, Jazz, so on and so forth. But once again, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Momentum MVP. Follow our Facebook page at MVP Momentum Podcast, and check us out on YouTube at MVP Momentum Podcast. I've been Sam Holcroft.
Geigh Zollicoffer.
Evan Payton Thompson.
And thanks for listening.